Well guys, made it to the Ziegler open house luncheon today. It's nice that they got my 1050 all washed up for me and my new 700 series lined up for me next to my mower and baler. That'll go pretty good. We can save trucking, you know, you hook one up to each. You buy a tractor with an implement, you know, and you get a special on trucking. Yeah, I've never been to a Ziegler cat open house before, so I thought, what the heck. That little baler, I'm kind of in love with that little thing. After crawling around the John Deeres or running the John Deeres as a kid, I'm kind of excited to hear what they have to say about that. And they did the other day, the salesman did send me a text message of what he could do on that mower and baler, because he knows that fits my operation more than that fits my operation. And surprisingly affordable. But yeah, all right, I'll record as much as I can for the day, but I don't know what they'll allow, you know. Top secret. Some of these places don't like that. So, well, there's the service shop. See, they got a big payloader there. What is that? A 980. Oh, that's a nice loader. Cab off, doing some work. This is a heck of a shop. And you also got the truck side. Remember, all your sound, not all, but you got all the old C15s in trucks. Yeah, boy, I would have loved to have had a shop like this when I was at John Deere. I need to build me a shop like this for at home. All right, guys, I'm in the new 1000. This is set up for my row crop. They obviously knew that I was showing up here to equip one for me like this. This is a very simple tractor to drive. For the most part, you got your 3-point stuff here, PTO stuff, programmable features, all your outlets out the back. We don't worry about the throttle. You don't use the throttle unless you're doing a PTO function. You just leave the throttle alone. You got your headland management and cruise control features here. So headland management, what that is you're planting and you come up to the headland, you hit end, it lifts, it shuts things on and off and whatever. So then you turn around, and once you're turned around and ready to go, you hit go again, and it reactivates your guidance and does all the settings that you had wanted to do. This isn't quite that simple, but it's still pretty simple. But like anything, it's just a matter of getting comfortable with it. So we don't need to mess with that. So without doing anything, on the side here, we can adjust the aggressiveness of the transmission as to how hard it accelerates and decelerates. So all we're going to do is just on like number 2, and then there's a brake button back here. I just click the brake button and I push forward, and we are going. And as I hold, it just goes. Engine's at 800 RPM. There is zero noise. I can hear the fan, the blower, the air coming through the vents, but I cannot hear anything of that engine. That thing is quiet. That is unbelievable quiet. And then to slow down, I just pull back on the stick, and let's say we're just, instead of making a boring turn, all I do is click that park button and I bump to the side. Now you see the dash telling me that we're going to go backwards, and now we're going backwards. There you hear a little cackle out of the engine. Same thing, bump it again. I squeeze the button. Now I'm going backwards. Now I'm going forward. That's slick, guys. That is. Then you're heating and air conditioning and stuff right here, and this thing gets cold. That sun is not very high in the sky, and I've got the fan, I think, on a fairly low speed. It is cold. This thing is awesome. I can't wait to jump into that 700T and take that for a spin too. It turns not too bad. I don't know how much less it would turn than an articulate, but it it doesn't turn too terrible. I was worried. Now when we pull up here, like when you're hauling manure tankers or big loads and you want to stop, you just, you know, you slow down what you want to slow down, and then you just touch the brake. Doot, and we're stopped. That's it. That's all we got to do. It is very easy to drive. This is slick. This is the future. When we they're saying that, so they got this display. This is Fendt. This is all Fendt. The 700 is all Fendt like this. In several years, they're hoping through the other series that they're going to bring this Fendt on over, so all tractors will drive and operate the same. And this is very, very user-friendly, easy to learn. I think I'm just playing with it. There's some type of, there's a manual park brake there to park it, and since we're at an event, I'm just going to make sure that that's parked. So it's flashing its lights and it's got park on, saying that we're in park, so there's no question about that. And there's another brake light on over here, so there's no question park is engaged, so I can take my foot off the pedals. But yeah, that will be slick when they bring this over to the smaller line tractors. That will be really slick. This is cool. This is super cool. It's very intuitive. When you're going backwards, if you want to go faster, you just move the lever more and you go faster backwards. It is very intuitive, very easy to drive, super comfy, super spacious. I like this a lot, guys. You know what? Enough here. Let's go jump in that 700. Here's the back of the 700 series. It
gotta go home and work.
They've got the big drawbar and heavy duty rear end, like the thousands. They brought a lot of features of the thousands over. This is a fantastic machine. Gosh, this would go on my grain cart and strip till really well. Well, the 700 here, you can hear a little more engine noise in the cab, but it's still so minuscule. The step flips up automatically like the others. Same control as the 1000, and so I'll let these guys step out of the way, and we just let our foot off the clutch, and she'll start creeping a little bit. And with the track machine, remember, we just got to steer. We just steer the wheel a tiny bit, and it starts turning. So this thing is smooth. Here, we can just kick her up. Again, I haven't touched the throttle. It takes care of the engine RPMs for me. Obviously, when you're doing field work, you can do some throttle settings on these to get it how you want. But driving this tractor, these are slick because you just bump the wheel and you turn. You don't have to crank the wheel. What they need to do they need to throw a block of wood out here to run over, because this is riding very smooth. I ran over a few little potholes and stuff out here, and it just walks on over it. Wonder if you can see how the track changes distance from that door handle as you go over bumps. So the front of that track, I'm trying to find the rough stuff over here. It probably don't show up very well, but yeah, it's supposed to be that walking beam. This thing, again, this is just a gorgeous tractor. This is why I can't understand how anybody driving a John Deere 2-track machine doesn't have a Challenger, especially in the state of Minnesota, because in the state of Minnesota, Ziegler has better store hours than the John Deere dealers, with 24-hour service, and their stuff is always leading the way on these 2-track machines. Hands down, you got a far superior transmission than the John Deere's variable transmission. This, and you can just bump, and you feel it slow down. You can kind of feel the suspension in the tractor. I'm gonna stop for you guys so I can back on in there safely. Backing up is a dream. You got a lot of visibility around you, and with the steering, with the transmission, you can just crawl to a 1/4 mile an hour. This thing is just absolutely gorgeous. So here's my little baler. They got the fan, and I believe it kind of does a self-reversing cleaning thing, so it keeps these knotters clean. Anybody doing knotter maintenance, the old balers, you know, it'd just be mountained up here with bale dust. Keep all that dust out of there, so when you're everything is moving, you just have that much less wear and tear because it's clean. The needles are nice and high off the ground. Kind of a slick, very long chute here. Hydraulic tensioning, which you don't need an SUV off the tractor. Big 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 10. So 5 on each side, so you got 10 bales of twine capacity. A simple crank down on the pickup. Compared to our old Deere with the side pickup, this drive over thing, that is extremely low profile. That is slick. There's really slick. And then you over here, this looks like how you set your bale tension, so you don't need a hydraulic off the tractor. It's self-contained, so you can have the most basic tractor. As long as you got a 540 PTO, you've got the bale operating. Like the big squares, you've got that pickup chamber down there with a finger assembly that scoops it up, so you almost get a pre-compression chamber effect. There you can kind of see up there a little ways. This is a really simple looking, slick looking baler, and on the price he quoted me on a monthly payment, it wouldn't be a whole lot more money each month than there's your big flywheel and your gearbox. Nice big heavy gearbox. Greasable points are labeled out. Only got 2 chains on this side. Yeah, that is a slick deal. I'm pretty impressed. But yeah, for what they told me as what they could get me into it for monthly, I can hardly buy a 10-year-old used Deere for that. And so the day I can afford this, guys, we'll see what other people have to offer at the same time. But I mean, this features and benefits, this is like a slick little baler.